Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the basement of the monastery in Vedanta, DC. This morning I wanted to talk about the love of God, namely kind of look into the Narada Bhakti Sutras. They were the ones that we mentioned yesterday that Sri Ramakrishna said were a good guide for the fastest path to God in this day and age. So it's the Narada Bhakti Sutras. And the first chapter of them, which is what we're going to look at, just the first few verses, is kind of a description of what is bhakti. Bhakti is a Sanskrit word for devotion, meaning love of God. And the text says, bhakti is intense love of God. It is the nectar of love, getting which man becomes perfect, immortal, and satisfied forever, getting which man desires no more, does not become jealous of anything, does not take pleasure in vanities, knowing which man becomes filled with spirituality, becomes calm, and finds pleasure only in God. It cannot be used to fill any desire, itself being the check of all desires. So bhakti is supreme love. Supreme love is a love that has no motive, a love for its own sake. It's a love of love, which I like because of the way I think about God. God being love, as the scriptures teach, and so really a synonym. So to love God is to love love. To love love is to love love for its own sake. It is its own reason. And in that way, the bhakti path, this path of devotion, is its own fulfillment. So the path and the goal are the same. It is this one supreme, all-fulfilling love. It's our very nature. It's who we are and what we are, as I talk about all the time. So bhakti, this devotion, it's intense love for God. It's seeing God in everything. It's understanding that the reason that you love anything is because of the presence of God in that thing. We live not in a world, but actually in a mind, interestingly enough. And the nature of that watcher is this pure love. And so the mind is a mirror of this pure love, which only gets confused when it's filtered through the desires and needs and interpretations of the body and the mind. So to understand it is to understand who you are, to understand the reflection that you are seeing in the mind, that everything that you know and see is in fact your reflection in its entirety, that it is always perfect, that it is always present, that it always is in the now. Ramakrishna says that if you're able to combine the love of a man for his chaste wife, a worldly man for his riches, and a mother for her child, if you can combine those three loves into one, that you will realize God, you'll realize your nature. And what does it say here? It says if you know that nature, if you're realized of that nature, if you know what you're seeing and what you're experiencing, the true nature of who you are, it says that you become filled with spirituality. You become calm. That equanimity. Nothing can disturb you. You are in that supreme repose, self-satisfaction, supremely satisfied, that there is no need or desire there. Finds pleasure only in God. Now immediately we think, oh gosh, that means I can't find pleasure in anything else? No, that means that you've come to understand there is nothing else. That everything you've taken delight in, everything that you've taken pleasure in, is divine. But when everything is divine, there are no particulars. So one of the signs of achieving this supreme love is that equanimous spirit, as you can read in the Gita. It's that nothing is desired, nothing is needed. Everything is appreciated. You have no aversions, you have no attractions, because they're completely unnecessary. You understand that you are the dreamer in repose in his bed, calmly enjoying, that you are not the wandering, agitated dreamer or dreamed character who's suffering from the plot of the dream, that you are in fact all things and everything is within you and is of that nature. It says that bhakti, or this devotion, it can't be used to fulfill desire, which is interesting because a lot of people, one of the stages of bhakti is to pour out all your desires to God and to count on him to fulfill them. We see a lot of mistakes being made that way in the world actually today. I was reading yesterday in the newspaper some of these spiritual organizations who are going ahead and saying, oh no, we don't have to worry about this virus, because God is with us. Well, certainly God is with you, but God is with the people getting the virus also. And that he's telling you through his scientists and through his people who he has given knowledge to not get together, to not do those kinds of things. There's a great story in that regard to a young monk whose teacher tells him that God is everything. And so this young monk is out walking in the forest one day, and this mad elephant with an elephant rider called a mahout is on the elephant, and the mahout is screaming, get out of the way, the elephant is mad, the elephant is mad. And the young boy thinks to himself, if everything is God, then this elephant is God. I don't have to get out of its way. God will protect me. And so he stands there, and of course the elephant comes with his trunk, picks up the young disciple and smashes him against the ground and throws him against a tree. And he lies down. People think that he's dead. Some of the other monks from the monastery come and collect his body and take him back to the monastery, where he comes and regains consciousness. And his master is standing there. And the master says, what happened? And the young disciple says, well, I was standing on the trail. And he recounts the story. And he says, the elephant threw me against the tree. He says, why didn't God protect me? Like you said, everything is God. And the mahout says to him, child, you were being foolish. God, in fact, did try and protect you. If everything is God, then the mahout yelling for you to get out of the way is also God. You did not obey God, and you paid the price for that. You see, so it's a perfect story for how God being love, God being in all things, has to be interpreted and understood. God is not separate and apart. He is in and through all things. And for us to open our heart and open our lives to that is wisdom. And to know that is freedom from desire, freedom from need, freedom from angst, from agitation, from depression even. It is to know that you are of the nature of love, and that everything is your reflection, that every life is a story of you, a story of love. To know that is to see your beloved reflected in all of the things that you cherish the most, and equally in all of the things that you avoid the most. So today, seek that love. Open your heart to that love. Quiet your mind with the presence of God. Quiet your mind with the love of God. Calm your anxieties about the future with knowing that all things that can appear are of the divine only, are of the beloved. Take fullness in that. Take peace in that. Take confidence in that. And know the beloved.